And 2 or 3, 4 weeks after that discussion with the staff person, did contact the staff person, only to be told by the staff person that council had already dealt with the matter, and that was it. He was given a key, which he has, and but that certainly does not address the issue of access as far as that particular property is. Other and from that road, from the point of view of other ratepayers. Essentially what you've created, I presume by inadvertence, you've created two classes of citizens, those with keys and those without.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Councillor Chanyi.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You represent 2 clients, is that correct then, Mr. Klein?
My clients are, I was contacted by Messrs. Kenline and Squires. I attended at a meeting with a number of ratepayers, and as I said, for purposes of Madam Clerk's records, my clients are Squires and Kenline, and I understand they're spokespersons for the crowd that you see.
But Mr. Chair, I believe the people paying you are 2. Is that, well, I won't go that further on that one.
Well, I do work awfully cheap, but not for free.
Yeah, I know. Now, there was a public meeting that was held last week. Is that correct?
No, there was no public meeting that I'm aware of. At least I wasn't there. I had a meeting with individuals out at Mr. Squires' house.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's very strange because there was a brochure put out into the public, issues concerning all citizens of Norfolk County, meeting for the public, September 25th, 7 p.m., 995 4th Concession, east of 59.
I can't comment on that. I have no knowledge of it. I'd like to see it when you're finished with it, if I may. I have no knowledge of it.
You can pass that over. It was advertised as a public meeting. I called Mr. Squires to find out, you know, is the meeting on? What time? Can I attend? I was told no. It was a public meeting, but I was told I could not attend. And the direction was that it came from you. And I just wondered what the reason was that you indicated I wouldn't be able to attend.
Well, I don't know, frankly, any of your discussions with Mr. Squires. Mr. Squires is here. If you want to address it, Mr. Squires.
I've spoken.
Yeah. You want to address that, Mike?
Council permission to allow Mr. Squires to answer the question? Show of hands. Okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, enough to permit him to answer the question at the podium.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead. You understand the question?
I would like to have it again, yes.
You have to do it into the microphone.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yes. Why was I told that I could not attend?
The reason why you were told is because the meeting was what we are going to present here. And if there was things discussed here or at our place that we didn't want you to bring to here. When we had the meeting, I didn't know what was going to be discussed. Mm-hmm. And that's why we didn't ask the first meeting. Mr. Cridlin was there and Mr. Wright, which wasn't a problem. But this last meeting was when we had legal representation. We wanted to discuss what we were going to present here.
But you were going to present it here, Mr. Chair. Oh, I'm not going to debate that.
I don't think it's going to get you anywhere.
No, that's fine. I just wasn't
fine
sure.
for an answer?
Okay, you've answered the question. Thank you very much. You can be excused.
Thank you.
Councillor Chanyi, anything further?
Pardon?
Anything further? Go ahead.
Not right now. Not at this
Okay,
moment.
then Mayor Travale.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. So just to be clear, Mr. Klein, there is a landowner on the 4th concession that has said he does not want his access restricted or taken away.
That's correct.
Okay, and where on the fourth concession does this gentleman or this person live?
He lives on the west side of the bridge, fairly close to where the bridge is. Am I correct on that, Ross? Halfway in the concession.
Halfway down? Okay, thank you very much. And would any of this particular landowner have his land or her land landlocked?
Yes?
Landlocked? Okay. And if he were given a key, would it still be landlocked in your estimation, sir?
Well, he may have access to it. I wouldn't have access to it. You wouldn't have access to it.
Is that the definition of landlocked?
Pardon?
Is that the definition of landlocked?
In the context of highways, yes.
Okay.
You have a public right, as I do, to go on any road.
No, I appreciate the free advice.
Pardon?
I appreciate the free advice. You said you weren't cheap.
Sometimes
So-
you need it.
At the meeting that you attended with the folks, did this flyer come up at all?
No, I've never seen this flyer.
Where they illegally use our logo and make disparaging remarks about people?
Well, why are you questioning me, Mr. Mayor? I know nothing
I just-
about this.
I just want to make sure.
I'm not here to take abuse from you or anybody or Miss Chaney.
Not
I
providing
am
abuse, sir.
not party to this information. I'm hired as a lawyer to represent these people.
Yep.
What they do on their own time is their business,
Thank you. That's all I need to know.
Okay,
and I resent the implication.
okay.
I did not make an implication at all. I asked you a question, sir, and you answered it. Thank you very much. Now, thirdly, I guess it is.
Okay, deep breath.
Yeah,
Deep
everybody.
breath.
Thirdly, if the gate were moved to make sure that this complainant's or this landlord's property was not landlocked, would that satisfy your client?
Mayor Travale, you obviously did not hear me when I introduced the topic. I indicated to you, and through you, or through the chair to council, I was here to request the repeal of a bylaw.
I heard that very clearly.
All right.
But I'm saying that council has the right to close a road, and if we move that gate, the question is pretty straightforward, would the land in question not be landlocked?
I presume it depends where you move the gate.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you. Anything further from around the table? Seeing no other questions, Mr. Klein, thank you very much for attending.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Appreciate
Thank you,
that.
council.
You may take your seat, and could we have a motion to receive this information? Mayor Travale, those in favor of receiving this information, unanimous. And we do have an associated report, and she'll be delivered by, I believe, Mr. Cridland, and it's in regards to this same topic. So I'll just pass it over to you, Bill and Eric.
Through the chair, we have a bit of a dilemma here, and in the report it says we did have legal opinion and indicated that this council does have the right to close roads, but if challenged, it would have to be taken up further. Our learned friend here has provided us some background information, and my suggestion is that we defer our report and allow our solicitor to review the new information and also review the petition that's been put forth, because there's a lot of interpretation that can occur with respect to keeping the road open. If we keep it open, we have to upgrade it to a certain extent. The bridge structure, yes, it's in our road needs study. It was scheduled for some work in the near future. I don't know precisely what year it was, but in its present condition, and Mr. Cridlin has provided you some photographs of it. It is a liability from the council's perspective. It has no railings on it. The bridge platform itself is adequate for four-wheelers, a single vehicle, but certainly does have a load limit on it, and it should have rails on it. That's things we have to address. That's outlined in the report. If you like, Bill can present his report, but I think we have a lot of new information here that needs to be vented through the county solicitor. So from a staff's perspective, Bill has done his work. he initially had support from the two people. Certainly, if there was a misunderstanding, it certainly was clarified this evening. And staff are prepared to go further with the report if you want, or if you want us to defer it.
So staff are recommending then that the report be deferred, that we have our lawyer's advice and also present him with the petition as well. So committee members, Councillor Wells.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much. I certainly would be willing to move that motion that we defer this and that we give staff direction to seek legal advice, as well as to come back with a further report on the matters before us.
Yep, and present the petition as well.
And that is also correct, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Clerk, have that motion. Is that understood by committee members? Discussion, further discussion about it? Councillor Wells,
And
you
that
want to
will
speak
also
to
come
it?
back with an estimated cost if we leave it open, I presume.
Yeah.
That would be part of that report.
Through the chair, Bill's report presently addresses those costs to open the road entirely. It was one of the options that was proposed in his report, but since he still had property owner on both sides of the road, it's the same one, support gating it. That's why Bill did recommend moving the gates to in front of those properties.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Councillor Luke?
Mr. Chair, the other thing, and I will certainly support the motion, another thing I would like answered, whether it's tonight or whether it's in that report, but we heard Mr. Klein and his deputation say that we have not followed our own road closure via the public meeting, which is in our roads and lanes and alleys closure. And if in fact we have, I'd like to know that. And because I'm as much a part of that mistake if it's made as anybody else. So I don't know whether that needs to be answered tonight, or the clerk's department would like to just touch on that or leave it for the report. It's fine with me, but
Okay.
we need to know if we don't follow our own procedures. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Councillor Luke, just the clerk just whispered that would be reviewed by our lawyer, so we will get the answer to your question.
That'd be great if the lawyer reviewed it. Thank you.
Okay. So anything further? Those in favor of the motion? That's carried unanimously. Thank you, and thank you for those in attendance. Sorry we couldn't give you an immediate answer, but one will be forthcoming. Thank you. You can certainly stay if you'd like. You're more than welcome.
How many people live on that road?
I don't know, but I'll on a telephone.
140 people live on a dirt road? Where are these people from? Minneapolis? What's their interest in that road? How come all of a sudden?
I don't know. That's what the report will. That's what I think.
First question.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Gonna
I could petition anything and get 1,000 signatures just walking up the streets.
yeah, I guess so.
People sign petitions, they don't even know what they're signing.
Aren't we doing the other deputation? Yeah. Okay, if you could get downstairs as quickly as you can without shoving anybody down the steps, we certainly would appreciate it. We can move on with our next deputation.
Mr. Black?
Yes, go ahead.
While we have to wait for a couple minutes, could we have a 5-minute break?
Is
5
that
minutes.
Is that all right for everyone? Show of hands. Okay, we'll recess for 5 minutes. 5 minutes only. Is that Mr. Frater? Yeah, he wants extra time for his deputation.
I do.